guys, welcome to the new setup. I know it's kind of strange because I'm hopping from the last video where I recorded at home to the second part of Haunted Cathouse where I'm now in my cool new setup. I hope you really dig it. I do. Everything feels good. Now, what we're actually going to be doing today is learning the verse, okay, basically the first verse and the chorus for Haunted Cathouse. This verse will provide a template for the sort of things you could do in the rest of the verses. So I won't go through every single verse. There's a few little tweaks, but generally speaking, you're going to get a lot of great ideas for how to work through those verses. And in the next few videos, I will actually teach you the solo and the end of this song. The transcription of these parts, all available on my Patreon. Let me give you an example. Okay, see that? Chord shapes, tabs, all beautifully put together, meticulously put together. So if you aren't a Patreon, you probably haven't seen that side of what I do. This is the time-consuming part, even more time-consuming than the videos. But it's all here. So do consider checking that out. And yeah, I'd like to thank all my Patreons. There's a few new ones. I'll get to you guys in the next video. Let's get on with the lesson. So it's up to you whether you want to sort of finger pick this one or just use a flat pick. But what we're actually doing to begin with, we put our first finger across the 3rd fret on the 3rd string, 2nd string, and the 1st string, just like that, okay? We don't actually start right on the beat, not really. You could maybe do a little bit of a ghost note, but what we end up doing, if I count you in, 1, 2, 3, 4, we've actually slid in from that intro where it goes, puts the finger there and then starts playing the chords. So I wouldn't really worry about that note. Let's just do it this way. 3, 4, 1. Okay, so I'm just holding those 3 notes. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm just strumming them. So 3rd fret, 3rd fret, 3rd fret. That's your first bar. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're into the 2nd bar of the verse. We go 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, so we're actually just strumming all 3 strings again with the same rhythm. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. So you just pick that 2nd string, and then we hammer, and this is the 3rd bar of the verse, and we strum. So we just repeat that rhythm we did for the first 2 bars. And I'm holding the 4th fret obviously there. You really need to get on the tip of your finger so you don't block off the 1st string. If you're a little bit lax that way, you're going to lose that 1st string, which would be, we don't want that, okay? So at the end of the 4th bar of the verse, pick the 3rd string, but do yourself a favor, place your 2nd finger here, slide up to the 7th fret, like that, bar your 1st finger across the 6th fret of the 2nd string and the 1st string, and we pick up on the 1st string after we slide. So slide up to the 7. This is into the 5th fret, 5th bar, we call it, of the verse. And we put the 1st finger across the 6th fret on the 2nd and 1st string. So we're playing a little B flat chord. Okay, so this is a G minor for everyone playing at home. That's on the transcription as well. I always try to mark what the chords are insinuating. So we've come off the, and then we go to the E flat. And then we slide into this B flat, as I mentioned, flatten across here. So now we pick up on the 1st string, we pick down on the 2nd string, and we hammer to the 8th fret like that. Then we pick up on the 1st string, down on the 2nd, down on the 3rd. So everything so far. I actually picked the wrong string when I went to that bit. I picked the 3rd string. You should pick the 2nd. Do what I say, not what I do, as the saying goes. Okay, so after that, that's now the 6th bar we went through. So in bar 7, we play nothing on beat 1. On beat 2, we slide from the 6 up to the 7. We roll our 1st finger to the 7 on the 2nd string. 2nd finger goes on the 8th fret of the 1st string. And then we pick the 3rd string, which we're still fretting, and put your pinky on the 10, pick up on that, then pick down pick up, sorry, up on the second string, down on the third. And you're probably thinking, what's that meant to sound like? How does that meant to sound? That's really good English. Well, it will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Took me a little while to get that one because it's kind of placed off the beat. Starting on the second beat feels a bit weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You can still see it slips in and out of my head, that one. It was a little bit of a tricky one. So that's the first 8 bars, okay? Now we're into bar 9. I'll play through it first this time so you know what you're getting into. Very similar to the beginning, but a little bit of a variation there. So we just kind of, on the beat 1 there, okay, of bar 9, 1, 2, just maybe a little pick on that one. I can barely hear that it's there. Sometimes I'm not sure what I'm hearing, but because it's quite buried in the mix at some points, but not buried, but very subtle. So, but I would pick 1, then strum 2 and 3, 1, 2, and what you do here is you just add the pinky to the 6th fret and you kind of rake through the strings, pop both of them like that. And then we go back to the 3rd fret just by lifting the pinky, picking up on the 2nd string. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now you've picked that 2nd string. Don't block it off the way I just did. That was just demonstration purposes. We actually want to let that ring, and we hammer the 2nd finger down, and this is taking us into bar 11. Okay, and it's that same chord from before. So the chords don't change. The chord types don't change. Just the licks and the ideas that he's using. Okay, so let me play everything up to there. So, hang on. Okay, so now we hammer the 2nd finger onto the 4th fret of the 2nd string, so that's an E flat. The chord now becomes an E flat chord. And then after we've done that, that's beat 1. Beat 2, we strum. Then we relax and we go upwards. Okay, and that is bar 11. Bar 12, we do. Okay, so you've just done strum down, pick up on the 2nd string as you put your pinky on the 6th fret, down on the 1st string, up on the 2nd string with the pinky removed, so we're playing the 4th fret again, and down on the 3rd string. Then sort of slide up as you shift fingers if you can to do this next bit. So we've just come off the, and we slide up to 7. We're playing the B flat triad again, and that's on the 7th fret, so we've slid into that. Pick it as you get there, up on the 1st string holding that, doing that little mini bar of the 2nd and 1st string. So we'll be getting the 6th fret on the 1st string. Pick up on the 2nd string. Pick down as you place your 3rd finger on the 2nd string, or you could hammer it, that's fine. Up on the 1st string again. Down on the 8th fret. Up on the 6th fret, so that was on the 2nd string by the way. And down on the 7 on the 3rd string. Then we are coming up to this D triad, and we pick down on the 3rd string, up on the 1st, up on the 2nd, down on the 3rd. Okay, so I'll just play that. Okay, quite simple really. Then down on the 2nd string, again we need to get a nicely onto the tip of our pinky to get that 13th fret. I guess we can get it back out of the way when we play the 1st string again. Then we go up on the 2nd, down on the 3rd. Alright, so that line I just played. A little slower. Okay, so this is really simple rockabilly stuff. If you're a psychobilly guy, psychobilly player, this should encourage you to be checking out my other videos on the rockabilly stuff. Scotty Moore, Luther Perkins, it's all in this song. This guy, he's played a bit of everything, you can tell. He's really done his homework and it shows. but he's also very creative, so he doesn't just play traditional stuff. He's a great player. I'm a big fan. Okay, so from here, we're basically, I guess, entering the third time through the verse. So we go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is a really cool theme here. Just like before, we strummed that rhythm, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But this time we do this little lick. Okay? And then we do the same thing with the A flat. We go... just like that. That's it. I've tabbed that wrong. I better fix that for you guys later. So all we're doing, 1, 2, 3, and then we strum with the pinky on the first string. Then we bring the pick down again, and my third finger is now on the first string on the 5th fret, and then I pick down on the 3rd fret like that, and then I pick down on the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. Okay, and then we repeat the same lick with my 2nd finger on the 4th fret here. So let me just explain one more thing. When you've hit that 2nd string, just roll that 2nd finger down, hammer that finger down onto the 4th fret to set up the chord, and you don't actually have to pick that, so like that. And then we do that same rhythm, 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we do exactly the same thing. Okay, same thing, but this time when I hit the 2nd string, my 2nd finger is still on the 4th fret. Just like that, okay? This next lick, you'll hear in that verse goes... Cool lick. So what we're doing here, again, we're off that B flat triad. But this time you want to bar right across 3rd string, 2nd string, and the 1st string. Okay, we pick the 3rd string, pick up on the 1st string, pick down on the 2nd string, hammer your 3rd finger to the 8th fret, pick up on the 1st string, pick down on the 3rd string with your 2nd finger raised, hammer, then up on the 1st string again. Pick down on the 2nd string, hammer, up on the 1st, little pause, up on the 2nd string, down on the 3rd string, just like that, okay? And that's that lick. Then we have this. Alright, so everything from the 3rd time through the verse. Okay, that, by the way, that last chord, just a D, 11th fret there, 10th fret there, and 10th fret there. And you just strum it like this. Down, down, up, down, down. That rhythm's really important. If you really can't coordinate the downs and the ups, you can always just try to get the rhythm in your head. And then try and mimic it. I mean, if you're out of whack, it doesn't really matter, as long as you get that rhythm right. I prefer to always have that sense of being on the beat or off the beat, but I wouldn't let that stop you from playing it. If you can make it sound right, go for it. Okay, so now we're up to the chorus. The chorus is pure Luther Perkins. It's kind of cool. We've gone from Scotty Moore to Luther Perkins. So what happens here is we're playing a G minor, and we're just picking the 6th string, then the 4th string, then the 5th string, then the 4th string, just like that, okay? I would still bar if you can, if you're comfortable with that, to get that 3rd fret on the 3rd string, because if you push a little hard, you get that note, which sounds quite nice. Okay? And then we basically go up to an E flat major chord. Okay, but you could just play it as a power chord, no problem. And again, that way, at least if you pick through the 4th string a little, you've got the 3rd string covered with a note. I would recommend a little bit of palm muting, which, as I've mentioned many times, happens by just putting your palm across the bridge, rolling over, and if it's too dead, you need to move that way towards your elbow. If it's too ringy, move towards your fretting hand. So that even if you're left-handed, you should be able to follow that instruction because your elbow and your fretting hand are going to be relatively correct for those instructions. So I'm quite proud of that instruction. That's not bad. I just thought of all of that on the fly. So once we do once we're on the E flat, pick the 5th string, then the 4th string, then the 6th string, then the 4th string, just like that. Okay. Only there is a variation. You do a double pick the second time around on that 4th string. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Second time around, 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, so give that a go, and then we're on to a B flat chord, which is just straight across like that. Again, if you can get that second finger on the 7th fret of the 3rd string for the B flat chord, gives you that little bit of color too if you do actually want to strike it. I like that. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Now, look, at this point, I've put that little double pick in again there, but he mixes it up each chorus. It's not always the same. He sort of throws it in, I think, where he likes. So that's, again, a little bit of discretion there for yourself. Just try a few different things. So for the B flat, we're picking 6th string. I'm fretting 6, 8, 8, and 7. And I'm picking the 6th string, 4th string, 5th string, 4th string. If I want to double pick it, 6, 4, and 5, 4. All right, check out my Luther Perkins video if you really like that style. It's really worth you learning, going through the basics and the principles of it. Okay, so then the last chord is a D major chord. So that's 5, 7, 5 on the 6th string. I should have said 5 on the 5th string. So that's a D, A, A, A. Okay, and again, I like to make sure I've got that. You use your pinky. If I hit it, I've got that little safety barrier. Okay, you could play the full D major chord. Sounds kind of nice as well. So that goes down. Okay, just like that. By now, you've probably got the idea. Once I showed you that basic chord, it's exactly the same thing as we did from the E flat, but now we're doing it from the 5th fret, so not too complicated. Now, you actually only do one bar of that. I should have said this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we do this lick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. All right, and that pitches us back into the chorus. So, and get going. Boom. So just pretend that was the first time. Now, this is the second time. Then we're back to that intro. Alright, so check out my lesson on the intro if you haven't learned that. And that intro is the interlude here, or that little instrumental part, is exactly the same as the intro. So if you've come from that intro video or you've already learnt that, you're done with today's lesson. That's everything, okay? Otherwise, go learn that as well. So next up will obviously be the guitar solo in the end, the outro. This is a really cool tune, and like I said again, I can't stop coming back to the fact that this is old school rockabilly put into, I guess, it's not really a psychobilly song, ironically, even though he's singing about all of the psychobilly bands. It's kind of countrybilly. But yeah, and at the end it gets a little bit psycho, obviously. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please consider checking out the Patreon and chucking a couple of dollars a month. You can see I'm going to a lot of effort. I do really enjoy it, but it definitely helps, so for a little bit of a contribution. And there's a community growing from there as well. Don't forget as well, I've also got a podcast. I'll put that below, so check that out. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for the guitar solo and outro.